Welcome everyone. Today we will discuss about one very important topic, which is how do metals and non-metals react. So in this we are going to discuss about ionic compounds and formation of ionic bonds between metals and non-metals. So it is given here that in the above activities you saw the reactions of metals with a number of reagents. So we discussed we discussed about the chemical reactions of metals with different reagents like air, water and acids. Why do metals react in this manner? Let us recall what we learnt about the electronic configuration of elements in class 9th. So if you remember, then we discussed in class 9th, we discussed about electronic configuration of different elements, both metals and non-metals. And we also discussed about valence shell, valence electron and octet rule. We learned that noble gases which have a completely filled valence shell show little chemical activity. And we know that there are certain gases like helium, neon, argon. They are said to be noble gases because they show very little chemical activity. That means they are very less reactive in nature. The reason is that because they have already attained octet. In their valence shell, they are already having 8 electrons, and that is the reason they are very less reactive in nature. We therefore explain the reactivity of elements as a tendency to attain a completely filled valence shell. So how if we have to explain the reactivity of elements, then this reactivity of elements, it depends or it is based on the number of valence electrons present in there, that means or the number of electrons present in their valence shell or the number of valence electrons present in them. So depending on that we will be able to decide the chemical reactivity of different elements. It can be both metals and non-metals, and on the basis of this only, like I think I also discussed that previously when we were discussing a chapter first. In that we discussed that on the basis of this electronic configuration and the number of valence electrons, why sodium and potassium, they are highly reactive in nature, whereas then copper or silver, gold, they are very less or almost they show or almost they are not at all reactive in nature. Let us have a look at the electronic configuration of noble gases and some metals and non-metals, which is given in table 3.3. So we can see from table 3.3 that a sodium atom has one electron in its outermost shell. If it loses the electron from its M shell, then its L shell now becomes the outermost shell, and that has a stable octet. So this we already discussed about the electronic configuration of sodium metal, that in total that its atomic number is 11. So that means number of electrons in sodium is also 11. So when you are writing the electronic configuration, it will be 281. So what sodium will do? Sodium will lose its valence electron, which is 1, to it will lose or it will give its valence electron to the other element, which is generally non-metal. So when sodium will do or when sodium will give, then what happen? When sodium will transfer or when it will give its one valence electron, then the total number of electrons now is only 10 electrons, whereas the number of protons will remain same, which is 11 protons. And that is the reason sodium will develop one positive charge and we will get sodium cation. The nucleus of this atom still has 11 protons, but the number of electrons has become 10. So there is a net positive charge giving us a sodium cation, Na+. On the other hand, chlorine has 7 electrons in its outermost shell and it requires one more electron to complete its octet. Whereas what will happen in case of chlorine? In case of chlorine, we know that its atomic number is 17, and that is why the number of total number of electrons in chlorine is also 17. So when we will write its electronic configuration, it will be 287, which means that it is having 7 valence electrons. So the nature of chlorine is that to attain octet, it wants to gain one electron so that it can attain octet. So what will happen if sodium and chlorine were to react? The electrons lost by sodium could be taken up by the chlorine. Now sodium wants to lose its one valence electron to attain octet, and chlorine wants to gain one electron to attain octet. After gaining an electron, the chlorine atom gets a unit negative charge. The reason is that after gaining one electron, total number of electrons will be 18, whereas the number of protons in the nucleus of chlorine is same, which is equals to 17, and that is the reason chlorine will develop a negative charge and we will get chloride anion. Because its nucleus has 17 protons and there are 18 electrons in its K, L and M shells, this gives us a chloride anion Cl-. So both these elements can have a give and take relation between them as follows. So this is how an ionic bond will form between sodium ion and chloride ion, or you can say sodium atom and chlorine atom, and when sodium will transfer its electron to chlorine, then we will get sodium ion and chloride ion, and that is how, because of the oppositely charged ions, there will be electrostatic force of attraction develops between them, which we say it as a ionic bond. So this is about the theoretical explanation, and I think this we already know, we have discussed about this in 9th standard completely. There is nothing new till now. The only new part which we have to discuss here is about at how to show the formation of ionic bond between metal and non-metal. So the first, which is the most common and the simplest example of ionic compound, is NaCl. Apart from NaCl, we will also be discussing the formation of other ionic compounds. So that is why today we discussed about the theoretical part of this topic, and next time we will be discussing about the formation of sodium chloride and other ionic compounds. Thank you.